If history can teach us anything, it is that a nation built on material values, be it a city like Babylon or an empire like Rome, can never last forever. Like the survival instinct in man, materialism can never amount to the totality of the needs of man. Beneath an instinct to survive lurks a divine instinct, always striving for a greater purpose, something beyond the now of the material to the why of the spiritual. It has been said that Japan has risen to become a great nation through the means of materialism and technology. It has been said that the progress is the work of modern educational institutions. But these are only half-truths. Does ever a piano, be it the product of great workmanship, burst forth into a symphony without a master's hand? The most sophisticated computers do not code of their own accord. Indeed, it is the spirit that dwells within the nature of the Japanese that guides their progress. They are an intriguing people with much discipline, and their age-old virtues of courage, honor, and forgiveness have helped this nation survive through the atrocities committed against them. For centuries, the Japanese have attributed the spirit guiding their hands and beating in their hearts as the ghosts of their ancestors.
The Japanese society is a very nice society. People are very diligent, they are very obedient, they respect the rules, and they are very reflective people.
Japan nije izgrađen preko noći. Rezultat je dugogodišnjeg, disciplinovanog i teškog rada unazad edog perioda japanske historije.
Japan je uvijek bio miroljubiva zemlja. Preko 270 godina Japan je bio izoliran od ostatka svijeta. Kad je konačno otvorio vrata strancima, to je bilo radi utjecaja ideje od imperijalizma. Poslije slučaja na Hirošimi i Nagasakiju, kad je Japan bio poražen u Drugom svjetskom ratu, odbacio je imperialističke ideje i vratio se svojim miroljubivim putevima.
For centuries, the concept of God played a role of little to no significance. When presented with God and religion, Japanese thinkers have questioned that God's purpose. And yet, they are a nation who are deeply spiritual, seemingly aware of God's existence and power, but unaware of his form.
They believe in Kami-sama, as they say, which is equivalent to God. So they have a concept of God, and they do believe that some power, some mighty being has created all of us.
Their relationship, as I said, is a traditional relationship. So they don't have a deep sense of the means of to have a unique God. This is something that they cannot understand because they never learn.
The time has come for the seeds of spirituality sown in the Japanese soul to blossom. The time has come for the recognition of their Creator, Allah. The indigenous faith of the Japanese people is Shintoism, the way of the gods, which is as old as Japan itself. Shinto was never founded, nor does it have sacred scriptures like the Quran or the Bible. It is simply a way of life, deeply rooted in the traditions of Japan. Shinto gods are called kami. They are sacred spirits which take the form of things and concepts important to life, such as wind, rain, mountains, trees, and rivers.
Mi ne znamo odakle potiče šintoizam u Japanu. U ovome se šintoizam izdvaja gledajući na druge religije.
Mi smo davno prihvatili da se mi ne možemo boriti protiv moći prirode, tako da smo naučili da živimo u skladu sa prirodom i napravili smo to našom obavezom i religijom da poštujemo prirodu oko nas. Mi ne možemo preživjeti bez prirodne pomoći.
Suština šintoizma je da volimo i njegujemo prirodu. Mi ne znamo ko je napravio stvari koje nalazimo u prirodi i nije nešto o čemu mi razmišljamo. Bog ne postoji u šintoizmu. Naša religija je da obožavamo i divimo se prirodi.
Mi nalazimo tragove naših bogova u planinama, rijekama, u planine, Fuji i velikim planinama oko nas. Ovo su naša jednostavna vjerovanja.
Life has evolved in the last few centuries, has become ever more complex. Callings greater than the simple way of life distract our attention today, and the ancient ways of the world have fallen short of providing solutions for the complex challenges we face today. A new spiritual way of life is needed, which should be universal in nature, to reconnect mankind to the Spirit of God. Today, only one religion in the world claims to have such a message: Islam. The arrival of Islam was the dawn of a new era in the history of the world. The voice of Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him, aroused the sleeping forces of Arabia. After this crucial turning point, Arabia underwent a revolutionary transformation, becoming instantly illuminated by the bright light of its new spiritual life. Unlike all other prophets who were limited to a specific people and time, Muhammad, the holy prophet of Islam, peace and blessings of God be upon him, brought a message for all of mankind. Islam can civilize a nomadic nation of Arabs who were once barbaric in nature. One can only wonder at the effect it may have on a nation who are already deeply spiritual. Unfortunately, Islam has suffered at the hands of time, like all other religions that have come before it. Just as the followers of all religions seems to have forgotten the essence of their beliefs, the Japanese way of life has also suffered the same fate.
Zbog interneta i napretka u informacionalnoj tehnologiji mi prolazimo kroz fazu globalizacije. Rezultat toga imamo opadanje morala kod omladine koji polako zaboravljaju naš tradicionalni način života.
Ovo je nešto što vidimo širom svijeta. Veliki pad morala. A u Japanu ja mislim da je razlog nedostatak vjere i vjeronauke.
It has been predicted, and predictions have been corroborated by the events of the last century, that a time will come when humanity will suffer great moral degradation and the world will crumble to dust. Prophets of the past have prophesied that when such a time appears, a man will arise like a phoenix to lead the world out of such darkness and into light. Desirable and probable as the fulfillment of such a prophecy is, we must not forget that a phoenix rises only from its own ashes, and that it does not descend from the heavens above. Neither does it fly on wings borrowed from angels.
The promised Messiah, peace be upon him, was supposed to come, was written in different books also, on the Bible, on the Quran, no? But people, they didn't know when he was supposed to come.
The kingdom of God is within you. It does not come rolling down the mountains, however lofty. It does not come sailing across the seas, however broad. God has granted, says the Quran, to every people a prophet in every age, and as such, in this age, a man has claimed to be that prophet, that Messiah, that reformer, to re-establish the connection between God and man. His name is Mirza Ghulam Ahmed of Qadian. Ahmed claimed that he was the reformer of the latter days, sent by God, the Almighty, to turn the people away from materialism and return them to their Creator. He founded the Ahmadiyya Muslim community and invited his followers to toil and sweat, to persevere and be patient, and inform them that those who seek to live must be prepared to part with their lives. He prepared them for a long and painful struggle against blind opposition and persecution at the hands of those whom they love and endeavor to save. As the Messiah for the world, and not just limited to the Muslims, Ahmed was aware of the spiritual and religious sentiment of the Japanese nation. He mentioned that the Japanese are in search of a magnificent religion. A group of people from my community should be prepared for this task, who are both competent and courageous, and are also good orators.
And he has mentioned his desire that as Japanese people, they are in search of truth, in search of peace. So therefore, a very comprehensive book about Islam should be compiled and published. And very importantly, he received a revelation about Japan. Although the word Japan was not mentioned in that revelation, but a clear indication of its being a very mighty power that was mentioned there. The wording is एक मशरकी ताकत और कोरिया की नाजुक हालत.
An eastern power and the dire state of Korea. After this war, Japan, which is in the east, rose as a political power, and the revelation vouchsafed to the promised Messiah long before signs of its happening was fulfilled to the letter. In accordance with the desire of the promised Messiah, the first step to propagate the message of Islam and Ahmadiyyat was taken by a renowned companion, Hazrat Mufti Muhammad Sadiq, may God be pleased with him, and he began writing letters to the Japanese from Qadian. With the start of the blessed Tariqa-Jadid scheme, the missionary work of the community gained new heights and began to spread throughout the world. The second Khalifa of the promised Messiah, His Holiness Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud Ahmed, may God be pleased with him, who started this scheme, said, "The first task of Tariqa-Jadid is to establish at least one person in each country of the world who can firmly grip the standard of Islam and wave the flag high in the air. In Japan, it should not be a Hindustani waving the flag of Islam. Rather, there should be some native Japanese who firmly uphold the standard of Islam." Friday Sermon, 1st of December, 1939. In another place he said, "Japan is such an extraordinary nation. If we can establish a mission there, then the voice of Ahmadiyyat will echo throughout East Asia." Friday Sermon, 19th of November, 1954. In the history of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Japan, the 4th of June, 1935, is a day to always remember.
In 1935, the very first official missionary was sent there, and that was Sufi Abdul Qadir Sahib. And while he was there, the second missionary, Hafiz Abdul Ghaffur Sahib, was also sent there. So both of them, they worked there together, and in 1941, then both of them had to come back because of the situation of the world at that time. It was not possible for them to continue, and the mission which opened, that had to be temporarily closed.
In August of 1945, the United States of America dropped 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which resulted in utter devastation. His Holiness, Khalifatul Masih II, may God be pleased with him, strictly condemned this inhumane act of brutality and expressed the community's solidarity with the war-stricken Japan.
Kada su atomske bombe bačene na Hirošimu i Nagasaki, to je bio grozni zločin počinjen japanskoj naciji, koji ni jedna druga nacija u svijetu ne bi nikad trebala da propati ponovo. Umjesto da se traži osveta za zločin počinjen, mi kao nacija smo odlučili da se ujedinimo i izgradimo ono što je bilo uništeno i da oprostimo neprijateljima.
During these last few days of World War II, His Holiness Khalifa Masih II saw a dream regarding Japan. He states, "I was told in a dream that the Japanese nation, which is in dire condition at this moment, God will attract their hearts toward Ahmadiyyat, and gradually they will gain momentum and strength. They will readily answer to my call, just as the birds answered the call of Prophet Abraham." In service to the nation of Japan, a devout Ahmadi Muslim, Sir Chaudhry Muhammad Zafrullah Khan, a companion of the promised Messiah, who was the first foreign minister of Pakistan and Pakistan's delegate to United Nations Security Council, played a crucial role in the post-war Japanese peace settlement. While most of the Western countries, including Great Britain and the United States of America, focused on imposing comprehensive restrictions on Japan's post-war political and economic role, Zafrullah Khan argued at the San Francisco Conference on Japanese Peace Treaty that the restrictions placed were unfair and urged a speedy and unconditional restoration of Japanese sovereignty and supported an early peace settlement.
Kao Japanac ja se moram zahvaliti gospodinu Zafrullah Khanu, koji je služio kao inostrani ministar Pakistana za njegov uloženi trud za japansku naciju. 1951. godine na konferenciji u San Francisco u vezi japanskog sporazuma mira. Iako su sankcije bile stavljene na Japan poslije rata, Zafrullah Khan je dao divan govor u vezi Japana. Zalagao se da bi se postigao pravi mir. Bilo koja odluka protiv Japana mora da bude u skladu pravednosti i poštenja, a ne da se jednostavno kažnjava i traži osveta. Kao rezultat njegovog govora, sankcije koje su bile stavljene na Japan da dobije svoj suverenitet su bile u velikoj mjeri umanjene. Objasnio je da sankcije koje su bile stavljene na Njemačku poslije Prvog svjetskog rata su bile prevelike za Njemačku da podnese. I ovo je dalo život nacizmu u Njemačkoj, što je prouzrokovalo Drugi svjetski rat. To je nešto što mi ne želimo da se ponovi sa Japanom. Ja sam čuo da je gospodin Zafrullah Khan bio pobožni Ahmedi musliman. Moto koji humanost prva predstavlja, ljubav svakome, mržnja nikome, nije nešto što su oni napravili zato što zvuči dobro. Ovaj moto je bio očigledan u govoru Zafrullah Khana koji me je dotakao. I ovo je tačno što Ahmedi muslimani propovijedaju i praktikuju danas.
The propagation of Islam Ahmadiyyat in Japan bore many fruits, so much so that not only were Japanese people gradually becoming aware of the truth of Islam, but many of them began to personally communicate with the Imam of the time, His Holiness Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud Ahmed. A number of Japanese natives requested His Holiness to send a missionary and research scholar to understand the Japanese nation and be more capable of spreading the message of Islam. In response, His Holiness sent Chaudhry Khalil Ahmed Nasser Saab on a temporary basis to Japan. In response to his prayers, the humble flame of Islam was reignited in Japan, and many fortunate Japanese individuals began accepting the call of Islam. One such person was Mr. Kobayashi, who traveled to Rabwa in 1959 and accepted Ahmadiyya at the hands of His Holiness, the second Khalifa. He studied for some time at Jamia Ahmadiyya before returning to Japan to preach.
中東から来てる人、なんかアハマディヤでなかった人ないし。
Ja sam upoznao mnoge muslimane u svijetu, pretežno na Bliskom istoku koji su bili Ahmedi i na Ahmedi. I ovo ne kažem samo što sam danas ja Ahmedi musliman, ali sam uvijek nalazio Ahmedi muslimane da budu čestiti ljudi koji praktikuju i žive prema učenju časnog Kur'ana. I ovo je nešto što nova generacija Ahmedi muslimana moraju nastojati da održavaju u budućnosti, što bolje mogu prema svojim sposobnostima.
In 1968, whilst on tour to Japan, Sahibzada Mirza Mubarak Ahmed Saab, Wakili Allah and Wakila Tabshir analyzed the feasibility of establishing a permanent mission house in Japan. After his tour, some assessments were made, and accordingly, His Holiness Mirza Nasr Ahmed Khalifatul Masih III sent Major Abdul Hamid, a missionary of the Jamaat, to Japan. As a result of his tireless efforts, the message of Islam and Ahmadiyya began to spread swiftly, and as a result, 30 fortunate souls accepted Islam. Whilst Major Abdul Hamid Saab was still in Japan, Atul Majid Rashid Saab, missionary of the Jamaat, was also sent to Japan to spread the message of the true Islam.
One of the main things of our activity there, still I think it goes on, was the distribution of literature. I had a very small car of my own, Toyota, white color. Then I asked a painter to fill the car with some slogans and writings in Arabic, in Japanese, in English. And I took out the speaker from inside and put it on the top of the car. And then it was a missionary car. I got some literature printed and also an audio tape for that purpose. And then I was able, by the grace of Allah, to travel to 3 main areas of Japan, very remote areas, and some islands as well. There, nobody might have gone before with that message of the promised Messiah, alayhi salatu wasalam.
Another milestone in the history of Jamaat Ahmadiyya Japan was the translation of the Holy Quran in Japanese. This translation was eventually published in 1988 after 2 years of efforts and receiving guidance from His Holiness Mirza Tahir Ahmed, may God be pleased with him, Khalifatul Masih IV.
Bio sam počašćen da dobijem priliku da prevedem časni Kur'an na japanski jezik. Ja sam jednostavni pisac koji je skromno zarađivao za život od pisanja. Ali kad su me pitali da pomognem prevesti časni Kur'an na japanski jezik, obećao sam da ću završiti taj posao kad bi ga morao raditi do kraja svog života.
In 1989, His Holiness Mirza Tahir Ahmed, Khalifatul Masih IV, visited Japan. The visit attracted a large number of media representatives. Events were held in honor of His Holiness, but importantly, it was during this visit that the 4th Khalifa delivered the first ever Friday sermon of a Khalifa in Japan. On the 8th of May 2006, Jamaat Ahmadiyya Japan was blessed again with the presence of a Khalifa. This time, it was His Holiness, Khalifatul Masih V. It was the first time that a Khalifa would attend Japan's Jalsa Salana, and also the first time a Friday sermon would be broadcast live from a Khalifa in Japan. This building was originally a leisure center, and initially it had seemed difficult to get permission for it to be transformed into a mosque. Despite these legal issues, however, by the sheer grace of Allah the Almighty, along with the guidance given by His Holiness Amir al-Mu'mineen, these hurdles proved to be only temporary.
Izgradnja ove džamije u Japanu je bio skoro nemoguć projekat. Ahmedi u Japanu su bili uporni da ispune želju njihovog halife da izgrade ovu džamiju. I radi njihove čiste želje ja sam smogao hrabrosti da se prihvatim ove legalne borbe i pobjedim.
Bait al-Ahad Mosque is not just the first Ahmadi mosque in Japan, but in all of Eastern Asia. There are already approximately 100 mosques in Japan. However, this mosque is the second largest in terms of its overall capacity in the entire country.
Kad bi čula u vezi islama, mislila sam na teroristički napad septembra 11. Kao ja, mnogi Japanci također imaju strah od islama. Oni smatraju da svi muslimani su džihad fanatici. Nažalost, ovo je loš imidž islama u Japanu. Ja sam se bojala šta bi muslimani planirali ako bi imali džamiju da se u njoj sastaju. Iskreno bojala sam se za svoj život da radim na džamija projektu. Onda sam upoznala gospodina Anisa i druge Ahmedi muslimane koji su mi dali neke knjige. Čitajući ove knjige, pomogle su mi da razumim istinu u vezi islama. Onda sam objasnila ljudima da Ahmedi muslimani su vrlo miroljubivi, da oni žive mnogo godina u Japanu i žive u skladu japanskog načina života. Onda sam našla mir u svom srcu da radim na ovom projektu.
This is a nation which is going to make more and more progress. As the revelation of the promised Messiah also indicated, that it's going to be a very strong nation. But the fact is that no nation can really be strong without the belief in God. Otherwise, worldly facilities, worldly progress and development, these are no doubt very good things. But these things cannot give the real peace of heart, peace of mind to the people. And that can only be given by the belief in God and by following the commandments of God. So in this context, I would like to say that these people actually stand in dire need of being told about a living God. I am of this opinion that without this belief in the living God, no nation can make any progress. They may advance on the material side, but on the spiritual side, they would always be lacking. And these people, they really deserve, because they have shown through their progress that they are hardworking, honest, intelligent people. So if these people, they really understand and believe in a living God and develop their relationship with God Almighty, then no other nation can stop their way to the victory and success.
Though war clouds hang heavy upon our horizon, we believe that the wings of the angel of peace can disperse them. The history of the world confirms the prophecy: the meek shall inherit the earth.